Hello, social solars. I hope this is now the right way round. And if any of you join me back on this, I'm so sorry about the glitches. Really, such a nuisance. I haven't been going live for a while because it's been holiday and I gave myself full permission to kind of have a wonderful time in Croatia and spend most of the time off on holiday with the children, etc, etc. So my office is a bit chaotic. I'm tripping over things here, and but anyway, Misty Bliss posted a question this morning in our Facebook group here in Social Souls. I'm meant to go live, as I said, over on the Michelle Carville page, but I had some even bigger technical glitches over there. So this one is for you, Misty, but hopefully this is going to be useful for other people. And this is all about the Facebook business page, okay? So Misty's question was, am I wasting my time keeping a Facebook page going? I rarely get engagement on Facebook, whereas I get some engagement on Instagram and more on LinkedIn. Should I cut my losses and stop posting? Which is her Misty Bliss instant alignment method. Actually seems like quite a scary question I have asked, in as much as if I stop, I worry that I'm cutting off one of my options when I have an event to advertise, etc, etc. So I started typing back to Misty, a question, and it just got longer and longer and longer and longer. So I thought, you know what, probably simpler just to go live and talk it through. And if any of you join me, then you can ask questions. And if you catch the replay, we can ask questions. But hopefully this is useful. So I suppose where I want to start with that is, so the question I posed back to Misty was, so what is the objective of your Facebook page? And what I want to draw up here, and I may flip the screen so that all of this translates. Yeah, so I may look a bit the wrong way around, but hopefully now you can see this board, because this is the important thing. So I'm drawing a big square here, okay, and I'm going to write about your online visibility, okay? So our online visibility, not that long ago, I suppose, well, quite a long time ago, social networks have been out for a long time, but predominantly everything was about the website, okay? So we all focused on having an online presence, which was the website, predominantly. And of course, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that was really, and still today, it's still a very prominent and relevant channel. You know, your website is absolutely critical. And on that website, we hopefully want to have some lead generation tools going on that help us to convert, okay? So the website isn't just a brochure. You know, it is useful. People will go to your website. They'll go to your website for social proof that you really are a credible business. They'll go to your website to check out what it is that you do. So it is a kind of brochure site, stand what it is that you do into detail, the services you offer, the products, whatever that looks like. They'll go to the website maybe to check out you. So about you, your profiles, about the business, how long it's been going, etc, etc, etc. So people still go to, they'll go to your website to buy and engage. They may not be ready to buy the very first time they go to your website. They may just be checking you out and looking for credibility or trust, thinking that they can trust you. Trust is a big component. So when they go there, that's why it's really useful to have some lead generation tools on there, maybe a free download. On the Carville Creative one, we have a free social media guide. We have a free marketing plan guide. We have get a free chapter of the book. On my Michelle Carville one, I have how digitally literate are you? There's like a scorecard that people can do. And of course, what I'm doing here is I'm starting to build a relationship. I'm contracting with the user saying, well, if you want my free stuff, what I want from you is your email address so that I have permission and of course all GDPR'd with permission, to be able to build that relationship with you. And if you're interested in this piece of content, you might be interested in other things that I've got to share with you. So would you like to start building that relationship with me? Is effectively that contract of the email exchange. And then you build, you know, your email marketing funnels that enable you to build that relationship and ultimately lead you back to conversion, whatever that may be. Whatever that may be, it might be conversion that they become a member of your group. It might be that they buy your services. It might be that, you know, you have a call with them. Whatever that next step is, you know, you build all of that up. So online visibility was and has been dominated over the years via our websites. You know, you're visible online, you sell something online, you want to do business online, websites, it's normal. But of course, your website is not the only vehicle. You have your other outposts. So we have our, you know, you might be on Twitter, you might be on Facebook, you might be on Instagram, you might be on LinkedIn. And so what you want to decide is, where are your audiences? You know, if they're not on Twitter and if they do nothing on Instagram, then you've got to ask yourself, well, why am I covering that? But if your audiences are specifically on LinkedIn and specifically on Facebook, then of course you would focus on those. But sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we don't know. I mean, in my books I say, oh, find out where your audience is. You hear it all the time. Find out where your target audience is. But often your target audience is across all of these areas, you know. So then becomes the challenge of, oh my goodness, I create something once and I repurpose it on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter. And of course, it isn't just as simple as cut and paste, and what I'll put on Twitter I can also put on Instagram. The theme of what you're doing might be the same, but of course each of these channels behaves slightly differently. So the tone of voice on LinkedIn might be very different to what you're sharing on Instagram. Instagram is pithier, you're going to use lots of hashtags. You might use 1 or 2 hashtags on LinkedIn, 1 or 2 hashtags on Facebook, and 1 or 2 hashtags on Twitter. So, you know, things are going to be, Facebook's very visual, Instagram's very visual, LinkedIn is becoming more visual, and Twitter is becoming more visual. So, you know, visual, video and images are important kind of across the board. So you've got these social outposts. So my question to answer, you know, a long way about going about answering the question, because it isn't a short answer, is what are the vehicles, what are the engines for your marketing activity? Because if all you're doing is sharing posts on these things to get engagement, well then that's much more about entertaining your audience rather than marketing to that audience. And I'm not saying that entertaining your audience is not okay. It might be one of your strategy and tactics, that's all you use these for, to kind of keep that going. But, you know, realistically, you've got to think about the time that you're spending and the return on investment. And ideally, you want to be using your social channels in a savvy way so that it starts to either drive business or drive leads or drive more than engagement. Okay, so engagement is important, but what does engagement lead to for you, and how do you make that impact your bottom line, whatever that means? So going back to the Facebook page, you know, a Facebook page, yes, sure, the algorithms have changed without a doubt, and you know, in Facebook you might have your Facebook page, you've got your Facebook page and for your business, and you may have a Facebook group like I have, you know, and that group might be, you use your page to drive people to the group. You might be using your page to drive people up to your website. So it comes back to, what are you using these channels for? What are you using your Facebook page for? You know, are you using it purely for entertainment and just pushing out posts, or are you using it strategically and tactically to drive people either to your free lead generation, to drive more leads, or to get them into your, you know, your funnel so that you can actually start to build a relationship with them? And What we know about Facebook is that lots of people are on Facebook, and yes, sure, your page may not be getting the same engagement, but what are you doing on that page? What are you doing on that page? How active are you on that page? And without having a Facebook page, you don't get to see Facebook insights. You don't get to understand all the details of what's working, how long people are staying on posts, which post got the most engagement. So you can't actually learn about how to optimize the content to feed into your page if you don't have a Facebook page. So it is a bit of a dilemma, you know, Misty, I'm with you, because it feels like just doing what you were doing before, putting stuff out there periodically, isn't enough. You know, that isn't enough. What we do know about the change in algorithms is that you really do need to be doing more to engage your audiences. So going live, doing more video, getting people more engaged with those videos, which all helps. You know, you mentioned advertising for your events and things like that. Well, those adverts are always better if they have got engagement on them and there's already activity and you're optimizing those in your advertising than just putting out a, you know, a raw ad with no engagement. So there is opportunity for you to be using that Facebook page in a different way. So my question to you is, what are you doing already with it? I mean, you clearly said that you're putting stuff out there, but that might just be more of the entertainment, and you've got to start thinking about the marketing, how you're using it to drive people back to your website, to your other conversion tactics, to maybe make a call with you. There's so many features that you can add to your Facebook page. Is it as optimized as it can be? So if there's a shop on there, are you marketing your events on there? Are you selling the services that you have on there as well? Is it a mirror of your website? Do you even have a website? You know, and if you don't, then maybe your Facebook page is the place that you direct everybody to, and you use that like a website. You use it like a website. You have all the trust aspects there. You have the about us and the details about the business. So it can either be a website if you don't have a website, people do use it for that purpose, or it might be just another version of your website, but a version that is talking to an audience directly on Facebook that you can have a bit more flexibility with in being able to target them and speak to them, which you don't get to do with your website. So I suppose there's more questions there for you, Misty, but it really is about thinking about, what are you doing to convert? What are you doing to converse? You know, and drive that engagement? What are you doing to lead capture, you know, and make that Facebook page work? And how is that, you know, what is that page doing for you? Is it just a mirror of your website? Is it your website? Is it working? Are you making it work? Are you, you know, we say engagement has dropped and you're getting engagement on other things. Well, you know, what have you done now to boost engagement, in the knowledge that the algorithms have changed, and the algorithms mean that you really have to work harder for that page engagement. So, you know, there's things like that. There's aspects like that. Of course, you also have the opportunity to run the ads. Now, you mentioned, you know, it's a bit of a scary question, because you said, if I stop my Facebook page, I'm cutting off a channel for me to run advertising. And you are, you know, because you can't run advertising through your groups. You can't run advertising through your personal profile. So the only way you can run advertising is through your Facebook page. So again, is it that you just want to use your Facebook page as a pure advertising vehicle? You know, some people do that, and strategically you might say, I'm actually not going to do that much in Facebook. I'm going to do a post a week, and it's just going to be something that I would ordinarily, you know, you may have a blog, hopefully you do have a blog or a news section on your website, and you know, some people just feed their Facebook page into their website, their Twitter into their website, and they don't bother with the traditional blog and the news, because they're putting the traditional blog and the news over on LinkedIn or sharing that link to Twitter and then feeding it back, you know, to their website, so that all of this activity starts to drive back to the lead conversation and the lead generation activity. So it's all got to be joined up. You know, we could add SEO into this, we could add paid search into this as well. Your content strategy is also fuels all of this, you know, so you've got to get your content. What is that content strategy? So it starts with, you know, what are my objectives? What am I looking to achieve here? Am I going for new business generation? Am I going for awareness? What is it? You know, what is it that you want? Map that out, get really clear on your objectives, and then start to think, well, how does all this work together like one beautiful machine? You know, how is my Facebook page helping me to meet these objectives? And if it's not at the moment, is that because it's not possible, or is that because you haven't orchestrated and engineered it to be doing so? So there are, you know, a number of things here for you to consider. I did have some more questions for you, you know, some other things that you can be doing with your Facebook page. Obviously you can start to message people. There are messenger bots that you can have in place. There are events that you can run. There are lives that you can do. Are you doing those aspects on your Facebook page? I haven't looked at your Facebook page, so I tried to find it and I couldn't find it. So maybe if you share the link with me, I can have a look for you. But hopefully this starts to give you some ideas around what it is that you could be doing. So that's it from me. You know, choice around what you do with these channels is yours. The choice about your objectives and what is strategically relevant for you and what it is that you are driving to achieve is absolutely key. And these tools and how they all work together is really you building your map. You know, how do I want these things to engage? How do I get LinkedIn to help drive the lead generation? If that's your objective, you know, what are you doing here to drive this? And of course, some of this content can be multi-purposed. You know, that's the idea. You create the blog, you create the video, and then you can chop it and change it across this. We've already done lots of teachers, 2 or 3 teachers in the group around content and breaking down content and utilizing content, you know, but if you've got questions around that, ask those questions and check out those videos. So hopefully that helps. It's not a straight answer, which is why I didn't just say, oh, your Facebook page, yeah, you know, engagement's dropped, stop doing it, because it's take a step back and understand, well, objectively, what am I looking to achieve? And what role there does my Facebook page play? You know, if you have a group, you know, that's another thing we didn't talk about, but, you know, to have a group, you can create a group, and of course your Facebook page can be associated to that group. Now we know in groups, I'm going live in the Social Souls group, it stays within the group, okay? You can't share stuff outside of the group. Whereas if I go live on the page, my Michelle Carville page, I can share that into the group, I can share it into other groups and other pages that I manage. So it gives me more scope to share the content. And of course, on my page, I can use that content and I can put some ads behind it, you know, some budget behind it, and boost it into new audiences to encourage more people to come into the group, you know. So I'm using it as a marketing tool. So again, the question is entertainment or marketing, okay? Entertainment is good, all fun. Yes, we need to entertain our audiences, no doubt about it, to keep them engaged, to keep them, you know, on board, but you are doing it for a reason. And that reason has to be kind of joined up to your objectives. Okay, so more questions for you there, Misty. I hope you found that useful. I hope other people find some of this useful. And if you've got any questions about my scribbles, then please just put them in the post below. Hopefully you can all hear me. I can see some eyeballs, but I've had major glitches this morning with Facebook. I've tried to go live a couple of times and it's just not happened. I tried to go live on the Michelle Carville page. It just absolutely wouldn't let me. So I'm not quite sure what's gone on. I have seen some other people in other groups talking about having some challenges, so maybe Facebook are doing something today, I don't know, or this week. I will figure it all out, but hopefully that was useful. If you enjoyed it, leave some comments, and if you want to know more, if you've got a question that you want me to come on board and answer, I'm very happy to do that. So until we speak again, September's where I'm really back on track, back into Social Souls regularly. I'm building out a schedule of lives. I'm building out a couple of challenges for us to keep us all happy and engaged. And I am going to be talking about another paid for service that if you're interested you can join in with as well, but I'm still mapping that out. So that's it from me. I hope you have the best day today. I hope you have a great bank holiday weekend. The weather's looking okay. So bye from me for now. And any questions, as I said, just pop them in the comments below. I am super happy to answer any questions. And of course, if you want any more questions answered, I can jump onto the whiteboard and very happy to support and help where I can. Okay, let me know what you think and speak to you soon. Bye for now.